Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Pavithra, fertility specialist at GarbhaGudi IVF Center, Kalyan, Nagar. So today I would like to talk to you about a very simple method by which you can find out whether you are ovulating. So most of the patients who come here, they're either stressed or they're finding it very difficult to track their ovulation. It could be because the cycles might be regular, but even then, not everybody will ovulate at the same particular date. So there are different ways which we can predict our ovulation. Nowadays, we're having a lot of apps which tell us ovulation dates, whether it is precise or whether it is, easier way. I will tell you some things which are more specific with that of ovulation. So coming to the tests which we can do at home. So first thing is a basal body temperature. Usually when there is ovulation, there is a rise in the temperature. So that 1 degree Fahrenheit, if you could track on an everyday basis, and this again, there are many errors. Why? Because you cannot track it any time of the day. You have to track it just before you get up from your bed, because this hormone, it can change even while you get up and you do your routine activities. The temperature can vary. So because of the more false positive, this is not very much recommended. So, and one more thing is that in this method of tracking your temperature, it's going to be retrospective, because after ovulation only the temperature rises. So this particular cycle you will not be able to conceive. So maybe you have to keep this in track so that for your next cycle that will be useful. So basically 6 days prior to the time the temperature changes, the day which the temperature changes would be the fertility window. So apart from that, what are the other methods? So there is something like to see with the cervical mucus. So this cervical mucus is something that is the discharge, the white discharge which people get during a mid-cycle. So in this mid-cycle, what happens is this discharge, basically change in the consistency happens. So when this discharge is in the egg white consistency, they say that you tend to ovulate. So at that point of time, you can try to have intercourse and that may benefit. So apart from that, some people experience this pain during ovulation, that is called the Mittelschmerz. So what is this pain during ovulation is that when the follicle, that is, it ruptures, that time to release the egg, that time this pain starts. So but not everybody experiences this pain, so we cannot go by it. So what is one of the precise ways to know ovulation at home? So I have something with me today. So this is basically a kit. So this is basically for ovulation. So this basically has a disc and it comes with the pipette, contains a hole here. So this is where we have to put 1 or 2 drops of urine. So usually we prefer the early morning sample. So once you put this urine, what happens? It takes it through this layer. So here you have C and T. So what is the C and T? One is C is control and T is the test. So once you put the urine in a few minutes time, you will see a red line. So if the control turns red and then followed by the test which turns red, then what it means is that it is positive. So what are we tracking here? It is basically the hormone LH. So when we track this, the color can change. So if it is deep red, it means that it is definitely positive. If it is light red or if it is a little blur, so that time we cannot really say that it is confirmed. So what is this LH hormone and how does it play a role with ovulation? When our periods start, so we call it as day 1. So that time your follicle starts to grow. So this follicle, basically the selection will be happening at this point of time. So follicle which has the most estrogen content, that gets selected and it starts to grow. It becomes a dominant follicle, and this follicle, when it attains a mature size, at that point of time it is ready to ovulate. 1 day or 2 days, that is 24 to 48 hours before the ovulation happens, this LH surge happens. This basically indicates that ovulation is going to happen. So this LH, that is the luteinizing hormone, this hormone is the one which we are tracking. So that is basically present in the urine as well. So now when we track, that is through the urine, we get to know whether this LH surge has happened. So that's the reason why I said the deep red is important, that it matches the control. The test should match the control, because LH is already present in our body. So only the peak levels indicate that the surge has happened. So it is around 90 to 95% we can say that this test is accurate. but if we should not be wasting more time, because it is not very accurate as compared to the follicular monitoring which we do in the clinic. Apart from this ovulation kit, coming to the tests which we can do in the clinic, that would be the follicular monitoring. That is, with the help of the scan, we track the follicle size, and once the follicle is mature, we know the size, and we either we give the trigger or we wait for the natural ovulation to happen. So once we measure the follicle, we get to know the size, and we can predict the timed intercourse, or even do a simple procedure like IUI to plan your pregnancy. Thank you.